If you walked into the farmhouse at dusk, the first thing you would notice wouldn't be the smell or the dust or even the silence. It would be the hesitation. That thin, invisible line between one step and the next, where something inside you goes rigid and refuses to move forward, even while your boot is already in the air. The house stands by itself at the edge of a tree line, like it has been trying to sink into the ground for years and only made it halfway. The roof sags. One corner of the building leans to the side. The windows are dark, nothing but empty squares cut into the walls. The door is slightly open, not enough to be inviting, just enough to look like a mouth that forgot to close. You did not volunteer to check it. Nobody volunteers for places like this. You were simply the one still standing, still listening, while the others argued about rations and boots and who was going to take the first watch. Someone said, "You're quiet, you go," and that was that. In times like these, that is all it takes to be the one who walks in first. You push the door open with the barrel of your rifle. It moves too smoothly for old wood. No creak, no complaint, just a slow swing inward, as if it has been waiting for exactly this moment. The last light of the day slices across the floor in a narrow strip, catching dust that swirls like slow, lazy snow. You step inside, and the temperature changes. The air in the farmhouse is colder than outside, but it is not the sharp, honest cold of open ground. It is the deep, still chill of a place that has been closed too long, where nothing living has breathed properly for a while. Your lungs rebel against it at first, and you have to force yourself not to cough. You pause and let your eyes adjust. Shapes emerge. A table on its side, one leg broken. Two chairs, one still standing, the other lying on its back, like someone pushed it over in a hurry. A coat hangs by the door, stiff with age, sleeves empty and slightly twisted, as if whoever wore it last turned at the sound of something and never made it all the way back. You listen. Silence is not the absence of sound, not out here. It is layers and layers of tiny noises resting on top of each other. The tick of something cooling, the faintest shift of wood, the far-off rustle of branches. You listen for what is missing, not for what is there. There is no breathing, no shuffle, no whisper of fabric, no small careless noise that another human being would make without meaning to. You move forward anyway, because that is what you came here to do. Your boot nudges something and sends it rolling. A tin cup spins once, twice, then stops abruptly, as if the floor has decided that is far enough. You watch it for a moment longer than you need to. It feels like a test, though you could not say of what. In the far corner of the room, where the light does not reach, there is a darker shape against the wall. At first you take it for a bundle of cloth, abandoned and forgotten. But the closer you step, the more it resolves into angles the human eye knows too well. Shoulders, a hunched head, legs drawn up just enough to suggest someone who sat down and never got up again. It is a soldier. It was a soldier. The uniform is your side of the war, but time has stripped it of all detail. The fabric is stiff, the colors faded to the same tired shade as the wall behind him. The skin where you can see it is the wrong color altogether. One glove is missing, and the hand rests palm up on the floor, fingers slightly curled as if still holding something you cannot see. You crouch without really deciding to. This close, the air around the body is colder still. A pocket of stillness inside the room's already unnatural quiet. You check for what men carry. A tag, a letter, a photograph, a scrap of something that says, "This was who I used to be." He has nothing. His pockets are empty. No name, no story, just a body that never made it into any report. You stand up again, slower this time. Your knees protest. Your instincts do too. They whisper that you have seen enough, that you could go outside now. Say, "House is clear," and no one would ask what it felt like to stand next to a man who died sitting up and was never found. But the house is bigger than this room, and duty has a long memory. There is a narrow doorway in the back, half blocked by a fallen beam. Beyond it, a short hallway disappears into shadow. You angle your shoulders, slide past the wood, and feel splinters catch on your coat. The air in the hallway is somehow even heavier, as if the house is holding its breath. Halfway down, you stop. Not because you hear something, but because you don't. Places like this should make noise. Old walls expand and contract, rodents move in the corners. The wind squeezes through cracks and makes thin, complaining whistles. Here, there is nothing. The silence is not layered, not textured. It is flat, like the sound has been removed on purpose. At the end of the hallway, there is another door. This one is closed. You rest your hand on the cold metal of the handle but do not turn it yet. For a moment you feel absurdly certain that whatever is on the other side is aware of you, waiting to see if you are the kind who opens doors just because they are there. You turn it anyway. The room beyond is small. A kitchen once, maybe. A stove in the corner. Shelves along the wall, some collapsed, some hanging by a single nail. The window is covered from the inside with something dark, blocking the last of the light. Your eyes pick out details slowly. A plate left out, cracked. A knife in the floorboards, point down, rust climbing the blade. And then you see the bootprint. It is near the middle of the room, on a cleaner patch of dust where your own steps have not reached yet. One clear mark, the tread sharp, the outline fresh, not hours old, not days, recent. Recent enough that your throat tightens and your hands begin to sweat inside your gloves. The print faces the doorway, faces you. Whoever made it stood here in this exact spot, looking toward the hallway you just walked through. You hold your breath. You listen again, but this time your heartbeat is too loud, your own body too present. You cannot hear past yourself. You do not call out. You do not say the usual things men say when they want whoever is hiding to step into the open. Words feel wrong here, like they would belong to the house, not to you. Instead, you take one step backward, then another. You do not turn your back on the room. You keep your eyes on that print as long as you can, until the angle of the doorway makes it disappear. In the hallway, the air feels a fraction lighter. In the main room, the dead man in the corner has not moved, but somehow seems less alone now that you know someone else has been here with him, recently enough to leave a mark and no trace beyond it. Outside, the sky has darkened to that color between blue and black, where day is gone but night has not fully claimed the world yet. Your squad is a cluster of shapes near the road, packs open, voices low. One of them looks up as you step out of the doorway. "Well?" he asks. "Anything inside?" You think of the body with no name, of the fresh boot print facing the hall, of the way the house held its silence like a secret it had no intention of sharing with anyone who did not belong to it. "Just an empty farmhouse," you say. They nod. No one wants more information. The less a man brings out of certain buildings, the better he sleeps. Later, when you lie on your back with your pack as a pillow and stare at a patch of sky you cannot see clearly, the farmhouse follows you, not as an image, not even as a memory, but as a feeling. The sense that you were not the only one walking its rooms, that some part of the place watched you walk in and walk out and decided, for reasons you will never understand, to let you leave.
The war will give you louder moments, explosions, orders shouted over chaos. Days when you will not remember how many times you fired or how far you ran. Those are easy to talk about later, if you live long enough to tell stories. This night will not be one of those. This will be one of the quiet ones. The kind you think about when someone asks you, years from now, if there was ever a moment when you truly felt alone. If you walked into that farmhouse at dusk, you would know sometimes it is not the enemy that unsettles you most. Sometimes it is the dull, patient awareness of a place that has seen too much, kept too much, and decided to hold on to one more thing, the image of a single tired soldier who came, looked around, and left, without ever knowing how close he came to not leaving at all.